The Honourable Brian Walker.
And so how can I follow that? No, we have actually a wonderful example here from the colleague. We have a wonderful example from the colleague there of the reason for my contribution this evening, because, you see, this actually refers to, again, governmental inaction. It's probably planned governmental inaction, because I got a distressed and distressing call and visit from a member from the South West. Now, this is actually, I'll not name the gentleman, but he is actually a licensed hemp farmer. And as you are aware, that industrial hemp has a THC content of less than 1%. Look, 2 or 3% is nothing at all to be frightened of, but less than 1% is the qualification. Now, he is following the regulations outlined in the Industrial Hemp Act 2004, and he noticed that due to the climate change conditions, that the seeds with below 1% were now producing a little bit above 1%. And he did the right thing. He notified DPIRD back in November and said, I have a crop here, it's part of a crop, which is going to have a higher than 1% level of THC. He got the advice to destroy the crop, and he did so. He informed the DPIRD, he informed also as a consequence the registrar, and as a courtesy also the local Nannup police. Now, following that, time passed. And you begin to think nothing of it. But on the 11th of April, he was suddenly subjected to 10 police officers in the Organised Crime Division drug squad, who fell upon his farm, executed a search warrant, and seized a rotting crop lying on the ground. Then they went to a thorough search of their premises. They searched visiting family members' personal belongings and caused significant stress both to the farmer and his employees and residents and guests. They were treated as if they were criminals. Now, before I go on, you have to wonder, we've got a potential hemp crop which has been there for thousands of years in our society and has a potential in Western Australia for producing industry numbering in the billions of dollars to our state, with a hemp industry, 25,000 potential uses for that. And I've heard in this chamber qualified opinion from the responsible people suggesting that hemp would be absolutely fine to produce, no problems at all, and the problems that I'm highlighting is purely figments of our imagination. That's the implication. And I wonder how members would view that if they were subject to following the regulations, doing the right thing, and then suddenly being called criminals and having police running all over their property with the implication that they are now criminals. So this farmer is urging that we have a review of our protocols, urging that we have education and awareness, perhaps among the members of the government, DPIRD, the police as well. We ought to have some collaboration, that maybe having given the call to DPIRD and following the instructions, perhaps they ought to be coordinating with the relevant authorities, including the police. Perhaps there ought to be some legal protections for those who are following the law and complying without being treated as potential criminals, and safeguards which would allow farmers to safely produce their crop. That would make a sensible change, would it not? So what he was saying is our experience, he says, highlights the need for systemic change. Licensed hemp farmers should not face unnecessary stress and trauma while striving to comply with regulations. I don't think anyone here could disagree with that. And he says, we believe that a fair and supportive approach, one that recognises our role in sustainable agriculture, will benefit both the industry and the community, and could I add also to the environment as well. And then he collaboratively says, let us collectively work towards a more informed, empathetic and efficient system. So he kindly requested an urgent meeting to discuss these matters further. That was directed towards DPIRD. And as far as I know, there's been no suitable response, which again mirrors the collective apathy from the side of those who have the power, the levers for change. And I would request that this be taken seriously.